Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday evening Parent Academy webinar session. Thank you for joining. And again, we are excited to have you as audience listeners and participants. I am Tina Foston Hayes, the Parent Academy Specialist for Educational Equity and Outreach for the Alachua County Public Schools, and I welcome you this evening. Tonight, we will receive some helpful information from our guest speaker, Ms. Tia Paul, who is going to provide us with some information on the documentations that you guys are going to need for the Take Stock for Children live parent nights. So just before we get started, I'd like to review a few housekeeping elements. Please keep your microphones on mute through the duration of the presentation. We will be monitoring your questions and respond accordingly. Please use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your webinar window. And please note, Parent Academy webinars are closed captioned and recorded and posted to our website for access at a later date or re-review for any individuals who could not tune in live tonight. Your questions will be answered at the conclusion of each session. And if there is a specific need for any personal conversations, the Parent Academy's email address is parentacademy@gm.sbac.edu. And we will get to those questions for your additional information forwarded to the correct Alachua County Public School team member or to Ms. Tia. And without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Ms. Tia. Hi, Ms. Tia. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be with you all tonight and be able to share our presentation from the Education Foundation regarding Take Stock in Children. I am going to bring up my screen. It's not allowing. One second.
Is it working now, Tia? Okay, awesome.
Okay, so I am with the Education Foundation of Alachua County, and we have been in existence for the last 37 years. We run two scholarship programs called senior scholarships. So if you have a senior or know a senior in Alachua County, our senior scholarship portal offers 60 different scholarships, and it's a one-stop shop where you are able to input all of your general information and then select different qualifications, and then it will tell you which of the 62 scholarships you are eligible for. That program is just for seniors in Alachua County Public Schools, and that portal will open on our website, our website information will be provided throughout this presentation. That will be open on January 5th through February 20th. For seniors to be able to apply. We award about $130,000 through that program. And then our second student scholarship program is Take Stock in Children, which we're going to talk about in depth this evening. And so between those two programs last year, we awarded over $700,000 to about 114 students. We also provide grants to teachers. So teachers can apply for grants between $2,000 and $5,000 to do something innovative in their classrooms. And through that program, we award about $120,000 on an annual basis, all to invest in the future of our Alachua County Public School students. So Take Stock in Children. So Take Stock is a scholarship and mentoring program that was started in 1995, and we have awarded over 585 scholarships to Alachua County Public School students here. It is a statewide program, so it is in other counties throughout the state, but here in Alachua County, that's what the information I'm going to be going over with you all tonight. Again, we awarded about $488,000 in 2022. And then we had 100% graduation rate, as well as seniors who had been accepted into different colleges throughout the state. It is a program that is for high achieving, low income students who have a desire to go to college, but may not necessarily have all of the resources to get there, including financial support. And so we provide that support over from grades 7 through 12. So I've already shared with you what Take Stock in Children is. The goal of the program is to get students to high school graduation and then on into college successfully. And then we'll be talking about what all of the components of the program include, which are the students will be assigned a mentor when they come into the program. So they'll be required to have mentor sessions. These mentor sessions are one-on-one at the student school or virtually through group sessions or in our Take Stock in Children app. The students also will have college success coach visits. These visits are from a staff member of the Education Foundation and help the student to be able to prepare for college academically. So the college success coach is another person on the student's team that's really like monitoring their grades, behavior, and attendance, and then just really helping them to stay the course. And then we have a school coordinator who also helps us with getting information out to the students. So we have been doing some presentations at the schools with students that we received a list of that were eligible. And so those students, so your student may have received that information from our school coordinator, which typically is either a vice principal or a school counselor. We do have mandatory workshops and events that students are required to attend. These are helping them to get prepared for high school and then college as well. So if they're an 8th grader, we're going to have like an academy night, talk about homework tips, study tips, and those types of things with the students. And then we are also going to be doing in their senior year, going over the FAFSA and other financial aid opportunities. For example, we will have the Southern Scholarship Foundation come. We'll have Santa Fe College Achieve program come to that night, and they'll be able to talk with the students about other opportunities that are available for financial aid so that the student can pay for college and hopefully not have to worry about any debt when they're coming out. And speaking of scholarships, once a student completes this program during their senior year, they receive a 2-year Florida prepaid scholarship. And that will help them to pay for their tuition. So the students will come into the program between grades 6 and 9. And then from there, they receive mentoring, college success coach that provides college readiness services and a scholarship once they graduate. And then they move on to take stock to college. And then there are some post-secondary supports that are available through the state office, and those help the student to be able to finishing, earn their degree. And then from there, go on into their career of choice. So this information is just sharing with you that about the statistics of Take Stock and its success rates and its results. So a student that would have some risk factors and be considered low income, so a non-TSIC at-risk student here in green is graduating at a 50% rate within our state. The Florida average is 76%, and then with Take Stock in Children, the average is a 96% that the student will graduate from high school. So we are helping the students reach high school graduation and beyond. This is just some information about Take Stock and what was done last year. We had 57 seniors graduate. And those seniors that were in Take Stock received over $1.4 million in financial aid. So we were able to support them and help them find those funds so that they could pay for their college experience. We took in 65 new students. We plan to take, again, another 65 to 70 students this year. And so that's why right now we're in the middle of our recruitment cycle. And then we do have a need for mentors. So we're always looking for parents and teachers and community members to be mentors for our students, because that is pretty much the basis of this program, and why it exists is because there's no other program out there that provides a mentor and a Florida prepaid college scholarship. So that is what makes Take Stock unique. So why we're all here tonight is to talk about how to apply for the program. So before we leave this evening, I will put the application into the chat. There'll be one that you could print out and send in, and then I'll also put a link directly to the application. So if you just want to apply via online, that is also an option. Again, the benefits is that the student receives the supports that are here, the Florida Prepaid Scholarship, the college success coaching, the one-on-one mentoring, workshops, and financial assistance. To be eligible to apply for the program, the student does need to be in grades 6 through 9 in an Alachua County Public School, be on free and reduced lunch, have a 2.5 GPA or higher, and then pledge to, to maintain good attendance behavior and remain drug and crime free. This is the income eligibility guideline. So this just lets you know, like, that your annual income cannot exceed this based on your household size. So if your household size is 2, then your annual income should not exceed $36,482. And if you receive HUD, then there are some additional numbers in the far right-hand column here. So that you would need, in order to be eligible and to determine whether you should apply or not, you would need to look at these numbers and compare them to what your household income is, and then that will let you know if you should apply for the program or not. So if you do decide to apply for the program, then you will need financial documents will need to be provided to us, specifically a tax return. So your 2022 tax return would be the best document to submit with the student. The student who is applying should be listed on the tax return. This is a statewide program supported by the Florida Department of Education, and in order for us to be able to provide the scholarships, this is the information that we would need. Another document that would suffice if you did not have a tax return will be a food stamp notice that says how much your annual income is monthly. So that is another documentation. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me. My contact information will be at the end of this presentation, so you can take a screenshot or or write it down here at the end. And then we are wanting to know, like, every adult that is in the household that works and contributes to the household, their information should be included, and that information would go on page 7 through 9. Required information. So sometimes people ask us, well, is this required? Is that required? If it's on the application and it says mandatory or required on it, then that does mean that we do need it. So we do need the student social security number. That is mandatory, and the reason why is we have to activate and put the scholarship into their name once they join the program, and that information is only shared with Florida Prepaid. So then that way a school like Santa Fe College or the University of Florida knows that that student has a Florida Prepaid scholarship account and they can pull that information and be able to charge the tuition to Florida Prepaid versus the student. A student school ID number, that is helpful. We do have access to that information for students that were on the list that we obtained, but you can provide that as well. That will be helpful and make the process easier for our team that is evaluating the scholarship applications. We do need everybody's name and age and the last grade level that they completed on the application, which would be on page 7. This information helps us to know if the student is first generation or not, and that is one of the questions that the state of Florida would want to know, is kind of like how many students in the program are considered first generation college students. And then on page 13, there are a list of factors. And so we do want you to check those so that we understand the student has to have at least one risk factor outside of income eligibility to be able to participate in the program. And so we need to kind of know what other risk factors are facing the student. And then on page 15 of the application, we're asking for the teachers' names of the student, and that just helps us to know, what classes they're in this year. And then letters of recommendation, we do request that the students submit at least 2 letters of recommendation, one coming from the teacher, one of their teachers, the other one can be from another teacher, or it could be from a community member, but we do not accept letters that come from a family member. So we ask that you kind of reach out to your network and ask for a letter of recommendation outside of the family, or so that will be, so that way we know more about the student. Let's see. So that information will be on page 14 and 15, along with submitting the student's first quarter report card. So we are able to, in most cases, receive information about the student GPA, but that GPA will be from last year, because currently the GPA for this year would not start until after the first semester it was over. And so we do ask for the student's first quarter report card, so then that way we can verify that they are in good academic standing at the time they are applying for the program. So this is the recruitment timeline. The application information has been sent to the schools for the students that are eligible. That information went out over the last couple of weeks. And then we will be having a program application review night in person at our office at the Horizon Center. So if you wanted to come and fill out the application on the spot, or come and turn your application in person, that date is November 14th. So next Tuesday evening, you could come and ask any questions that you have. Make sure you have the right documentation and everything for that. The application is due on December 1st. So we really are wanting to get all the applications in so that we can get them scored before winter break, and then be able to start interviews in January with the students. These interviews are for us to get to know the student outside of what's on paper, and just making sure that the student does, understand that this program comes with a volunteer mentor that will meet with them once a week, and that mentor sessions are a requirement for the program. And then also understanding that is helping them to prepare for college, and that is something that they desire, that is a goal that they have for themselves. Selections will be made by our Take Stock in Children Leadership Council of the Education Foundation, which is a subset of our board. And those decisions should be finalized on February 8th. And then between February 8th and May 16th, we will be recruiting mentors for the students that we plan to take. You will receive notification during the month of February if your student was selected or not, but we will not officially sign contracts until May. And then that way, that gives us time to recruit mentors for the students based on where they will be attending school next school year. And then they'll sign their contracts in May, meet their mentors, and then they will officially start receiving full services in August. So that is just a little bit of timeline of what will be happening between now and May. All right. And then the family responsibility, so this goes for both the student, the parent, guardian, is that we ask that you communicate with the Take Stock in Children team, just letting them know if your address changes, your phone number changes, just really keeping in communication, or if you're going to have to miss a meeting with the mentor or the college success coach, etc., that you kind of let us know. We ask that you attend all workshops, trainings, and meetings. This really helps us to ensure that the student is prepared for college, and that they have received all the necessary information to provide that support and understand how their scholarships work. And then we just ask that you continue to support and encourage your student. Being here tonight already says a lot and shows that you really, are supporting your student and wanting to provide them with the best opportunities. And so with that, we just ask that you continue to do that throughout their time in the program. This provides you with some information about our in-person session that's going to be happening on November 14th. It's from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. It'll be at the Horizon Center, which is at the Education Foundation. The address is there, and we'll be in room 03009. So you can come and ask any questions. You can turn in your application. You can fill out your application. Our team will be there to support you during that time. And then again, I just shared that we are always looking for mentors, and at this time we need about. So if you were interested in volunteering as a mentor, if you are an adult, then these are the requirements. You can reach out to me. My email will be on the last slide, and we can share more information about that with you via email. This is our information. Meg McKenzie is our student services coordinator. She is the one that is in charge of running the program, and the Take Stock in Children program, and provides most of any information that you would need for that. And that is her email, and then also her phone number. And then you have my information here as the director of programs and our executive director, Jane Morawski. You could reach out to her as well with anything pertaining to the Education Foundation. And that is it for my presentation. I'm going to drop some stuff into the chat, and I can answer any questions that you all have.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tia. And I'm not sure if they can see the chat. So, parents, if you're here and you can take down Ms. Tia's contact information, please do so, and reach out to her, Meg, or myself, and we can make sure that you get those links that she wants to share with you guys.
So the last we talked about some other scholarship opportunities that were available. And I know we will be on again, I believe in January, December and January, to talk about our senior scholarship program. Again, that program is for seniors, but we will be sharing some information about other scholarship opportunities available to a student as they're preparing for high school graduation. Yes, if your student is a senior, then they cannot apply for Take Stock in Children at this time. We will have some opportunities similar to Take Stock where a student can earn a Florida prepaid scholarship during this upcoming senior scholarship cycle. So I would definitely apply for senior scholarships. And again, you can see that information on January 5th. That information will be available and up on our website for students to be able to apply for various different scholarship opportunities. And I think that was all the questions that were in the chat. And you're welcome. Thank you guys for joining us this evening.
Thank you for answering those questions. So please, everyone, just take down the contact information. And Ms. Tia or Ms. Meg or myself will be more than happy to get you the information that you need. And for those of you that are asking about our scholarships, please be on the lookout for all of the upcoming webinars that go out to you in Peach Jar from Ms. Jackie Johnson, because we will have a couple more webinars where I will bring some hosts on to talk to you about some additional scholarships that will be available for our students. And Miss Tia, I don't see any more questions. And so I won't hold anyone here if we don't have any more questions to ask. We, again, will be in person on the 14th, ready to help you all. So please come out. Excuse me. I think we have another question. What happens if your family's income goes up?
So we only check the income at the time that the student is applying. So for instance, say a parent was in school in college and say you're going to come an OB and then your income was going to go up or you're going to become a dentist or something like that, that would be totally fine as long as it's after the student applies. As long as it's after the application cycle that the student is applying for that year. So that, things change and, we are a big supporter of education. So it wouldn't be a problem after the first year the student was selected to be in the program.
Okay, so just to clarify, if the family's income goes up after the application has been sent and approved and the child is now in take stock, and then say mom gets a better job and takes them out of that bracket, the child is still okay?
Yeah, this child will still be okay and can remain in the program.
Okay. Good question. I guess we'll hang on and see if there's any additional. Thank you. And what if the student is interested in attending college outside of the state?
So the Florida Prepaid Scholarship can be used at an out-of-state institution. It is a Florida Prepaid Scholarship, so you get the best bang for your buck within the state of Florida at a public institution. Because private institutions are more expensive, even if they are in state or out of state. And then at out of state school, because you are able to apply for Florida residency, that gives you better rates on tuition and those types of, in the cost of attendance. So we really encourage the student to go within the state of Florida. There's also Bright Futures and a ton of other scholarship opportunities that will become available to the student. And so but the scholarship, the Florida Prepaid Scholarship, can be taken to an out-of-state institution. It just most likely will get used up in a semester or maybe two, instead of a 2-year scholarship.
Oh, so I have a question. Within the program that the students are in and the mentors, do they help them with ACT and SAT prep?
So we do the college success coaches can make sure that they get linked up to resources within our community that help with ACT and SAT prep. We don't personally deliver those services, but we are able to get them linked up to different resources, whether it's at the school or outside of the school through other organizations. So it is something that we can help with and that we do monitor for the student.
Okay, thank you. And parents, I only asked that question because I know that they can qualify for the Bright Futures. And if they score where they need to for the ACT and SAT. That opens up another door for some more money and more scholarships. Well, thank you, Miss Tia. I definitely appreciate you joining us and providing us with some information. I look forward to our in-person meeting so that our parents can come on out. So thank you again. And I will go ahead and close us out for this evening. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We appreciate your participation. Each week you are available to join us for more informative discussions and presentations. Once again, I am Tina Foston Hayes, the Parent Academy Specialist for Educational Equity and Outreach for the Alachua County Public Schools. Next week, I look forward to seeing you back with us on Thursday to have a little bit of conversations with our ESC supervisor, who's going to provide some information for our students and families about transition and deferment. So I hope to see you again, and you all have a great night. Thank you again, Miss Tia. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll see you on,
Tuesday.
what is it, the 14th? Is that a Tuesday?
Yes. We look
All
forward
right.
to
We'll
seeing
see you then.
All right. Bye-bye.